Okay, I know somebody that was on this flight, or some people that were on this flight, so just recording this to show them where they actually flew. So flight history for Jet2 flight LS1558, which they've provided me their boarding pass details for. Departed Antalya, Turkey, going to London Stansted. Departure time was scheduled for 5:20 p.m. Okay, and it was due to Stansted at 7:55. That's the times that matches there. So I'll click on play, and this is for the 14th of April. So this will show you the map of exactly, I'm sure you know where that is, but just to give you a brief overview of where you flew: directly north, over Istanbul, across Bulgaria, over Sofia, over Belgrade, gone across Hungary, across Austria, just inside of Germany there near the Czech border, across Germany there, across the Netherlands, and there to Stansted. Now, let's see if I can get this to actually play. Why is it not playing is the question. Something, oh, there we go. Right, so I've moved the map down there. It's going to show you. So the distance you flew was 2,916 kilometers. Tells you the average flight time and actual flight time. There you go, that's what I wanted to show you. So you were on a Boeing 737-8K5, registration GDRTE. Okay, so let's now press play here. Hold on, I want to move the map back to where it's, I need to put the camcorder down. I need more than two hands to do this. And that's the tricky bit about this. Right, okay, are we ready? Click play there. Okay, that'll look like it's moving very slowly. And now I'm going to zoom in on the actual map. Let's see what we can find. Oh, again, I need to put the camcorder down so I can get this lined up. And it can even show you where you've taxied on the airport to get onto the runway. You can see that white line, that's where you taxied out from. Okay, now you've taken off. I'm just filming this to show you exactly where you flew. I always find it interesting when I get back from somewhere. I like to know exactly where I've flown over, because when I film out of the window of a plane, sometimes you can see things, and then it's useful to be able to go back and work out exactly where you are. The only downside to this is because they put this massive great bar across the screen, half your screen is now gone. So when you're trying to look on the map of where you've flown, you have to zoom out in order to find places. So again, I'm having to keep... In fact, what I'm going to do, let's see if I can get rid of this. Right, at that time you're flying at 35,000 feet. Ground speed, you're doing 367 knots, that's about 450 miles an hour. And your track you're on is 321 degrees. And it changes, as you can see, because this is sped up, obviously. It's not working as well as I wanted to, because I need more than two hands to do this. But I just wanted to be able to show you exactly where you flew. As you can see, I'm having to keep put the blooming camcorder down. So you went, as I said, you flew just north of Istanbul. Now you're going across Bulgaria. Again, I have to put the camcorder down to move the map. Let me move the map. So you're just north. There's Sofia, Bulgaria there. And you're at 36,000 feet now. 400 knots, so it's about 460 miles an hour or so. And that's how far you are into the journey overall. But the aircraft shows you how far into the journey you are. Okay, and there's the time in UTC. Okie dokie, so now you're going over Serbia. And let's move the map again. Let me move the map. So you're over Serbia, just north of Belgrade. Still about 380 knots is your speed. time's now 4:30 UTC when you were here. You might find this interesting, you might not. I'm just doing it because I think the people on board might want to see where they go. So you're going across Hungary now, and you can see exactly where, a place called Pécs. Lots of places you've probably never heard of. I've never heard of most of these places. Szombathely, what on earth? Graz. So now you're over Austria, going over the mountains. Still, oh, you're at 38,000 feet now. That's probably as high as you're going to get. I doubt you'll get any higher than that. So in relation to Vienna, you're well west of Vienna there. Linz, you've just gone over. Okay. Now you're over Germany, getting close to Nuremberg. Still at 38,000 feet, 420 knots or so, about 500 miles an hour. I'm just going to have to move the map again. So you're north of Nuremberg by 5:27 p.m. I'll show you later how to do this yourself. You can press play yourself and do it if you want to. If you want to look again, watching my video might be all you want to see of where exactly you flew. So by 5:42 UTC, you're north of Frankfurt, Germany, and you're about to go over Cologne, close to Dusseldorf as well. Okay, I'm going to have to move the map again. So you've done about 3/4 or more of the trip so far. Now you're going over Eindhoven, the Netherlands. And you're about to go over the Dutch coast by 6:10 p.m. UTC. You crossed there. So now you're going across the sea, heading towards Colchester and Ipswich. You can see these weird bends are deliberate. That's how the air traffic controllers control traffic into Stansted. I've seen this happen many times. Let's just see exactly where you went over the coast around here. So you're going to come over north of Felixstowe a little bit. Time 6:23 p.m. UTC. Then you go north of Ipswich. Okay, you're now at 11,600 feet, so your plane's dropping a lot now. 278 knots. I can't film everything at the same time. I can quickly give you a brief view. It gives you all the details, height, speed, etc. I just want to show you exactly where you went. And then you bend around Sudbury, going to Halstead. I'm sure you know where that is. And Colchester, you know where that is. And Braintree, you know where that is. So you're almost home. You're now at 7,400 feet. Near Halstead, down to 240 knots. And then you're going to make the bend to come and line up for the northern end of Stansted Airport. I don't know if this map zooms in anymore. Yes, it does. Okay, so you can see exactly where you went on the map. Up towards Haverhill. From Cambridge, I can sometimes see planes when they're lining up for Haverhill. Depending on, you know, if there's no clouds, I can actually sometimes see the planes when they're about that position from Cambridge. Believe it or not. So at that point you're at 4,700 feet, 190 knots. Just a few minutes from touchdown really. And then of course, I'm sure you know, you line up with the Thaxted, that church in Thaxted, don't you? The steeple. So you're very close to touchdown. Let's have a look. 3,600 feet, yeah, a minute or two from touchdown. Down to 174 knots, 164 knots. Where are you? 1,800 feet and dropping, and you're about to touch down. Now, you're on the ground by 6:41 p.m. UTC. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed that. It's just to show you where exactly you went on the map. So let's show you how to do that yourself. So, let's just close that. So all you have to do, when you're on Flight Radar 24, which is flightradar24.com, load that up. Then up the top you've got a little white box that says find flights, airports, etc. So type in that flight number you've got, which was LS1558, and it will show you these two things. Click on the recent or scheduled flights one, click on that. Then it'll give you a list of dates of the recent ones. Now, in order to see older stuff, like if you wanted to see your flight out to Turkey, you'd have to pay. I don't use the paid version of this because I don't need that usually. Typically, for this occasion, I would have needed it, but so I can't show you your flight out there, but I can only show you the flight there. So anyway, then you would choose the date that you flew back, which was Monday the 14th of April 2025. Check the times match with your ticket, and that is the correct one. And then all you do is you click on the play button there. Okay, And again, you've now shown a whole map of the flight, and you need to move. I'm just using a laptop, so I'm moving that to I'm trying to get, that's not working. Hold on, I need to put the camcorder down. I'm trying to get, I want the whole web page to move down. That's tricky on a laptop. On a laptop, I need to click on that. You see that little yellow bar right on the very edge? I clicked on that, and then I can drag that down in order to get this information to show. Once that information is showing there, then you can click on the play button, and it'll do that thing that you've just seen again, where it'll start to play. So again, I need to now move the map to the start of your flight at that point. Again, it's up to you how much you want to zoom in, how long you want to spend looking at the exact route you took. You might not be that interested, maybe you are. Maybe the other people on board do want to see. So move the map as much as you can. Problem with this is if you close this so that you've got more map, then you lose this information. So you just end up having to use a much smaller scale of map than you'd want, really. So there you go, it started again, and you can watch what height you're at, what speed. I think the most important thing is just to see exactly where you've flown. I think it's useful to know where you've been in the world. So hopefully that's of use to you. As I said, sorry I can't show you the flight out there. That's a case of I don't use flight radar enough to justify paying for the version that gives you data that's more than 7 days old. And also recently Flight Radar 24 stopped working on Windows 10 computers, and that's my main computer. I only use Flight Radar 24 on my laptop, which is Windows 11. It works, but they've done this thing with the graphics on Flight Radar anyway. They no longer work on Windows 10. So anyway, there you go. Hope you've enjoyed watching that. Thanks for watching, folks. Bye bye.